Nev. It's a microphone. Don't lick it. Don't. You can look, but don't lick. Good boy. Okay. Well, now that that's settled. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. My name is Ryan, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. This is different than normally what I do on this channel. I usually react to TV shows, the occasional movie here and there. However, something has happened in my life recently, which has happened to all of us recently, and that is Heated Rivalry. Okay, so what I wanted to do, because I'm going to go on this journey, you're going to come on this journey with me. My dog is here. This is Neville. He insisted on being front and center, as he normally does when I'm filming anything other than a reaction. Oh, there he goes. Hey. Sir? 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 Come here, please. Come here. Over here. Good boy. Come lay down, please. Good boy. There we go. Now we're cooking. Now we're talking. Good boy. I know. I love you so much. Good boy. That was very good. Anyway, back to what I was saying. And that is, I recently watched and reacted to all 6 episodes of Heated Rivalry on my channel. However, I was so into it and so excited about it that I think I may have blacked out and talked a bunch of nonsense in every single one of my wrap-ups. And I don't think that I said anything of substance other than I loved it so much and how much I love them, which is true. But after about 50 rewatches, maybe more, definitely not less, I have come to realize that there is so much that I do actually want to talk about that I know I did not talk about in any of the wrap-ups. So I thought that it would be fun, and a couple people agreed and said that they would like to hear it. So I'm going to do a review analysis of each episode. I was planning on maybe doing one video to do all of it. But then as I was going through and rewatching episode 1 and making my notes for episode 1, I quickly realized that was not going to be possible because episode 1 alone, I have 5 pages of notes that I wanted to talk about. And that's just episode 1. So clearly I do have a problem, but I thought it would be fun to bring you guys along with me and really just walk through everything that I felt, that I saw, especially now knowing how the whole season 1 wraps up. There is so much. There is so much to unpack, and I simply had to. So that is what we are doing today. I will say, I'm sure some of the stuff that I'm going to mention that means something to me, I may be making up. Okay? And I purposely, wanted to get nice and comfy and cozy. I've got blankets. I'm in my sweatsuit. I'm comfortable. It's going to be like 2 besties chatting on FaceTime. That's the vibe we're going for. And I'm going to break down throughout the episode, beginning to end, things that I noticed and things that I liked. I'll probably talk about my favorite song from that episode, maybe some of my favorite lines from the episode, and things of that nature. So look out for that. And I also want to hear your thoughts, anything that I missed, or if you disagree, agree, whatever. I'd love to chat because this has taken over my life in a big way. And it's all I think about. It's all I want to think about. I don't want to be doing anything different. So I'm not going to. I'm just going to lean in fully. And we're going to dive in to this deep dive analysis of episode 1 of Heated Rivalry. Episode 1 is titled Rookies, in case you somehow forgot. But I don't think, if you're watching this, I don't think you've forgotten. Neither have I. So that is very exciting. But before I dive right in, if you do want to watch all of my initial reactions where I was blacking out and freaking the fuck out, you can do that. They are all on YouTube. there's a collection, a Heated Rivalry collection, and then my full reactions are over on Patreon, which the link to that is down below, as well as like a couple other links and things like that. But without any further ado, I think we should just jump into it because I'm kind of terrified at how long this is going to be. But I cannot cut anything out. I cannot. I simply can't, okay? We need to just go on this journey together, and a journey it will be. This is the other thing. Before I start, I thought about maybe doing some of these, like making some TikToks about it, doing something like that. But then I realized that I am somebody who can never tell a story in a short and sweet way. In fact, I tend to take the long way. I tend to add things sometimes that don't even need to be mentioned, but I feel that there is some kind of significance to them. So the only way that I was probably going to be able to do this, where I felt happy with the way that it turned out and what I said and everything like that, was a sit down long form video. So that's why we're here today. And I am so sorry if just, before we even start, I know it's going to be long. I'm sorry. You do not have to listen to me yap and not shut the fuck up about this show, but I have to. I'm just a girl, okay? At the end of the day, I need to talk about the show because it's brilliant. It is absolutely brilliant. So, with that being said, I am going to start literally from the very beginning, where the episode opens up. Shane walks up to Ilya. We see Ilya trying to light his cigarette. It is not lighting. Shane approaches, introduces himself. They shake hands. Immediately upon shaking hands, Ilya is able to light his cigarette. Yes, because what is there? There is a spark. A spark has just happened, and now his cigarette can light. I'm telling you, it's genius. It's genius. So then they stand in silence for a few seconds. Shane, seemingly, maybe a little uncomfortable, maybe not, goes over and shakes his hand again, a second time within like 15 seconds. He is now shaking his hand a second time, which makes Ilya have like this little cheeky smirk. We know in that moment that Ilya has clocked his fucking ass, okay? Ilya has clocked in, and we've got him. We know what Shane's about. We know everything. So then we cut to them facing off against each other. We see them practicing. We get the opening. We do like all of that. And I do want to mention, which it will come up probably in episode 2, but when they are practicing and Shane looks up and sees Ilya watching, he is chewing on the hoodie string. Okay? That is, I think, maybe important to note, maybe not. But I do want to put it in there because I'm going to mention it again, probably in episode 2. Because then it flip-flops, and we see Shane and his mom, Yuna, watching Ilya. Shane is not chewing on a hoodie string. Let's just make that clear. Then we see that Ilya ends up winning. Russia ends up beating Canada, whatever it may be. Ilya wins that. And we cut to the draft. Ilya is the first pick. Shane is the second pick. Shane obviously wants to be the first pick, right? But in the background, I just have to point out, I love Ilya, like, looking him up and down. He's got the biggest, goofiest fucking shit-eating grin on his face I have ever seen. I love it. And then we go to what looks like some kind of gala thing, and presumably, I guess it's the owner of the Metros, I'm not sure, is talking to Shane and his parents. We don't see that man's face. We are zooming in on Shane in that moment because Shane is like not with us, okay? He's somewhere else. He is mad dissociating, okay? We don't know where Shane is, but we are zooming in. Yuna's having a conversation with this man. he brings up race and how, you know, they are going against the grain and all of this stuff, which, you know, we don't comment on because presumably this is something that they have heard a lot. And we don't ever see this man's face because it doesn't matter. What matters is Shane's face. We are with Shane in that moment. This show has a really great way of doing long shots and really like letting us sit with the character and keeping the camera on the character's face that we want to highlight and we want to be with. And that's very important. So we do that. We go in with Shane. Shane's going through it. He's thinking probably a million fucking thoughts because that's him. And then he looks up and sees Ilya looking down, staring at him. They hold eye contact for like a few seconds, and then Shane breaks eye contact, okay? And this is like the first instance, I feel anyway, where we get that bit of like dominating from Ilya. The fact that he was caught staring and didn't immediately like go, oh shit, he's on me looking, and look the other way. Incredible. Incredible. And even Shane held his eye contact for like a minute and then looked away. And then we flip up to go into Ilya's conversation. Same thing. Camera's on Ilya's face, not on whoever is speaking. And we do not see his dad to the side. In the conversation with Ilya and his dad, Ilya's dad calls him lazy, which is kind of a crazy thing to say about somebody who was just like the first draft pick, but like whatever, I guess. So we immediately realize that like the relationship there's something funky going on there. He also scolds Ilya for speaking when Ilya says he'll work hard, which is fucking nuts, but whatever. And then we cut to Shane in bed at the hotel. He cannot sleep. So he gets up. But what does he do? This is like so funny to me and just says everything that you need to know about Shane. Because obviously he's gonna come back up and go to sleep, presumably, right? But he gets up and he like makes the bed. And I think that's that is so funny and so Shane. I love it. It's one of my like favorite little things. I love watching him stand up and make the bed and then get dressed, and he goes down to the gym, gets on the bike, and then we have our little bike race moment, which is a lot. Then moving on to the scene on the ground in front of the mirror after the bike, which is like very hot and heavy, by the way. Tension is building and I'm feeling it all. But then we move to them sitting across from each other in front of the mirror. And this is very interesting to me. One, because I think in every single episode we have a similar parallel in them being across from each other in some way, perhaps. So that's something to note. But the other thing to note is Ilya immediately sits down and stretches out. His legs are down, his knees are open, very giving off like just a very open vibe, okay? And then you look across and you see Shane, who has his knees kind of pulled, like one knee like pulled up to his chest, and he's giving a bit more closed off vibes, not as open vibes as Ilya. There is a moment where Ilya like moves his legs around, like pulls them up or whatever, but he always keeps his knees very open, and he's always like really leaning back, relaxed, and just giving an open vibe. Then we see Ilya drink out of the water bottle. Shane is watching him. He's kind of looking him over. He breaks eye contact, which causes Ilya to offer the water bottle. It kind of pulls the eye contact back in. Shane's not going to do it. Ilya insists. He shakes it at him. And that handoff of the water bottle was one of the most electric things I've ever seen. Ilya opening his hand. He opens his hand when handing it to Shane so he can close his hand around Shane's hand. Sorry? Love, love, love. Shane takes a drink. We shoot back to Ilya. And we see him mouth or whisper more. Which again, I think is a little bit testing the vibe, like gently being a bit dominating in that, seeing like what will happen. Will Shane hand it back? Will he listen? Which he does, and he drinks some more. Shane hands the water bottle back. Ilya really grabs his hand on this one, which had me like falling out of my fucking chair at this point, because now I'm sweating. Everybody's sweating. Ilya takes another drink. Shane is looking at him, holding eye contact, whatever. Ilya winks. I swoon. Shane kind of fucking swoons. He smirks. He does like a tiny little smile. So then the next scene is Ilya, and he's in his hotel room, and I think it's like New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, somewhere around there. But this is probably one of my favorite scenes in the episode, maybe just because I think it's so important and says so much about Ilya as a person, character, whatever you want to say. But we start off not seeing his face at all. We see his phone, which also moving forward will be not normal to look at the phone. But we do see 3 missed calls on his phone, and then an incoming call from Alexei, who is his brother. And the whole time, right, we don't see his face, but we have a shot and we see his feet. They're kind of crossed and he's like shaking them, which will come up later in the same episode. But this just gives a really good insight and like the anxiety that he is feeling about the situation, about home, his brother, his dad. I think it's done really, really well. And then we do see him once he answers the phone and is having this conversation with Alexei. He does get up and he kind of paces around the room while he's on the phone, which I also think will be important for something later in maybe a different episode. But it is important to note, he gets off the bed and he's kind of walking around. He's standing up. He's moving. Okay. Then we get a call from his father. He sits on the bed and he's yelling at him about some fucking shit. Who fucking knows? I don't fucking know. He's yelling about a game or something like that. Literally, you're never going to make this man happy, so whatever. But he's sitting on the bed, handling this phone call, and he crosses his arms and like makes himself small, which I think is very interesting, because when it comes to his dad, there are certain things about him and his posture that really say a lot and speak volumes about how he feels. And he does seem to make himself small in the moments when speaking with his father. And this is the first real instance of that. I mean, we saw him interacting kind of with his father before, earlier when his father was calling him lazy. But this is like his alone time, one-on-one time. This is how he handles that. Then we cut to the next game where Ilya loses, Shane wins, and he says, "See you in October." Ilya then gives like an actual genuine smile, which is beautiful. And then we get to the promo shoot. I love the line, "You look pretty." I think that is, I love that. That's one of my favorites. Love, love, love. Chef's kiss. So good. And we find out that Ilya is the one who came up with the idea of Shane being there as well, which, adorable, adorable. He needed to see his man. You know how it be. I feel like Shane looks like shook about that. Like, you set this up, my guy? Because yes, he did. He did do that. Because he's obsessed with you, okay? He's fucking whipped at this point. We cut to Yuna getting on his goddamn fucking ass about his Reeboks and how important it is for him to wear his Reeboks, and there are not other people like him, and he needs to be like a good role model for children looking up to him. All of that stuff, which is important, yes, but I think that this also is a really good look into Shane's life. Shane has very loving parents, but he does have parents who have very high expectations of him. And I think that's very important to note throughout the entire show. Not only do his parents have high expectations for him, even though they love him to death, it also makes him put high expectations on himself as well. So there's that. There's a lot of pressure on my boy Shane. Love that, man. Love, love, love. This is where shit gets real. We all know what happens now, don't we? We cut to the fucking shower. That shower scene is fucking crazy. This scene, when it came on, because I don't think that I mentioned in the beginning of this video that I have read the book Heated Rivalry. It is the only one that I've read. I have not read The Long Game. I was saving it for when I was done the show, but I ended up buying all 6 books, and I'm just going to start from the beginning and go that way. They shipped. They're on their way. So anyway, no spoilers, please. But at the time that I'd watched this episode, I had read the book. So I knew what was coming. As soon as we switched to the shower scene, I thought I was going to fucking die. I was so excited just to see the beginning of this all like really play out and how impactful this scene was and how they were going to do it, because obviously there are things you cannot show, but they did such an incredible job. We see Shane kind of frozen looking at Ilya, and we know in that moment, right, that he's kind of panicking a little bit because Shane has grown up in locker rooms. This has never happened to Shane before. Shane has never, felt this kind of urge to like look at a man in the showers, and he's panicking a little bit about that. But he kind of like looks away. They make eye contact a little bit. There's a moment where Ilya like looks down, raises his eyebrows, and like kind of like smiles. And we see Shane like turn and say fuck off or something like that. I do not understand how people are not getting the fact that Shane is excited here. I don't understand. Because Ilya looking down and like giving him one of those, immediately clocked it. Even if I hadn't read the book, I feel like that is such a clear-cut way to be like, you got something going on there. You're getting a little excited. And I know, because look at me, but I just am like, Ilya would never just turn and start fucking rocking that thing. You know what I'm saying? He would not do that if he did not feel like Shane was into that, And even though we know, right, from like the 2 handshake and all of that, Ilya has clocked him immediately. But at the same time, Ilya's not going to just do that in the open. Anybody can walk in, whatever, if he wasn't given like kind of a clear go ahead. So anyway. And then this is interesting because we see Shane kind of hold eye contact with Ilya. He kind of glances down. He looks back up. Ilya kind of like nods, like, I feel like giving him like the go ahead, like, get to it, boy. We can do this together. But Shane says, not here. Cut. Okay? They stop. Cut. And then this is super cute. Shane's sitting in the locker room, waiting until Ilya comes around the corner to start putting his shoes on. Ilya hurries around the corner because he needs to fucking get there before Shane leaves to like enact his little plan, right? Like set his plan in motion, which we love to see. Shane says, like, we can just forget that happened. Ilya says, you're a really bad liar, which I love that line. I think that's so funny. Ilya, by the way, is a fucking comedian. And the way that Connor plays him is just so funny and perfect. Hudson as well for Shane, which don't worry, people. Hudson will be getting his flowers in these fucking reviews, okay? He will be, because nobody could have done Shane better. Shane is such a difficult character. You know what? Story for another time. We'll get into that. We will. We'll get into it. Don't worry. But one thing about me, Shane apologist right here. I fucking love that, man. So, as much as I do love Ilya, Shane will be getting covered in here, okay? I also love after the you are a really bad liar, and when Ilya's approaching Shane, I love that Shane like does not look over at him. He stays focused on his shoes. And Ilya asks about the room number. Shane looks up. He thinks about it for a second, says 1410. They do the whole I might knock, I might answer, or whatever. I might open, I might knock, right? That whole thing, back and forth. Love that. That makes my fucking heart flutter, by the way. Nothing has made me squeal. Well, that's a lie. A lot in the show has made me squeal, but like the I might open, pause, I might knock. Stop. Like that shit gets me giddy. That gets me giddy. I love that shit. So anyway, so after that, Ilya turns around. Shane waits. He holds kind of eye contact looking at Ilya until Ilya turns around. And then he like puts his head down and kind of like closes his eyes. And you know this man is like, what the fuck have I just done? Like he wanted to, but at the same time now he's like, fuck. Fuck. The hot Russian. He's coming to my room later. Then we have possibly like one of the absolute best things ever, and it's Shane fucking getting in this suit, okay? Which is just the best thing that he could have possibly done. And I think there's a lot of good shit in episode 1. There's a lot of really great lines. There's a lot. I love Shane looking in the mirror and saying, "What are you doing, dude?" I think that may be one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. The delivery of that and his like little internal freak out of being like, is this a date? Like what is about to happen? I'm wearing a fucking suit. He's wearing a tux. Okay? Like this man is fully dressed. Like he's going to like some gala. Okay? So he quickly switches. And also I might add, at this scene we have Sea Lion, I think the song is called, by Feist playing. Love the song. But I think that it also adds an air of like anxiousness. Like the quick beat in that song, like I was feeling a little bit anxious watching him be anxious with the beat of that song. Top tier. We see him sitting like at the side table. He's like got the light off. He's in comfy clothes. He like doesn't know what the fuck to do with himself. He turns the light on. Fully, you know, at this point planning to talk to Ilya. Little does he fucking know he's about to get his shit rocked, okay? So then we see Ilya coming up the elevator and he runs into Yuna. That's fucking weird as hell. Could you imagine? I feel like this is one of the first times, too, where we really see, like, other than with his dad and stuff, like, Ilya's very good at being calm, cool, and collected. And we see him, like, be a little bit stressed. Like, he's like, oh my fucking God. Like, that was close. Like, it's just so fleeting. But at the same time, it's like, Jesus Christ. Like, out of all things, that's who I run into, really, his mother. So that's super funny. We get Ilya in the room. I think music cuts at this point. And again, another great line delivery from Hudson. I love how he says, I'm not a chicken. After Ilya says he thought he'd chicken out. I love how Ilya he kind of like walks into the room, which immediately just gives off this dominating presence and sets the tone for the entire rest of, you know, their rendezvous. And he walks around a little bit and gets himself behind Shane. Also really important to note here is that he is wearing, I think they call it a Canadian tux, which is denim on denim. So I think that's a really funny link to the fact that Shane had put himself like in this whole suit. I just think that's funny. So he walks behind him. Shane mentions talking. Ilya's like, not really. I don't really want to talk. Pushes him up against the wall gently. Shane says this is such a bad idea. Ilya hits him with the what is. And then we kiss. It's magical. Everybody was melting. Everybody was dying. I still kind of fucking am. I'm not over it. And I have to have seen it. I'm not even fucking exaggerating 60 or 70 times at this point. Like guys, I would ask for help, but I don't want it to stop. So there's that. This is also really interesting because as he does push him up against the wall too, we notice that Shane kind of is like slouched forward. He kind of has his head down. He's not making eye contact with Ilya. He's very nervous. And I think that there's a lot of emotions going on here because like he's curious. He wants to do it, but at the same time, he's like fucking freaking the fuck out. And honestly, I get it. I get it. Who wouldn't be? And Ilya, by the way, might I add, grabbing his chin and lifting it up to kiss him. Oh, I love it. I love it. Guys, this show is so fucking beautiful. It's so good. It's so good. Also, don't fucking mind my ratty ass nails, because what the fuck is that? Anyway, that not the point. So not the point. So then jumping back into this is such a bad idea. What is? We have a really cute kiss. We see Ilya do something that becomes a recurring theme for this pair. And he grabs Shane's chest. He grabs his boob. It just gets a little handful of boob. Okay? Which, honestly, fuck yeah. So he does that. And that's like the first instance we see that. And because it becomes such a thing throughout the entire show, I felt the need to mention that this is the first time right here. I am documenting that shit because that's very important to me personally. Then Ilya takes his jacket off. Shane is still not making eye contact. And he immediately fucking goes for that belt buckle. Shane immediately is fucking in there. As soon as that jacket comes off, Ilya's trying to take his shirt off. Shane's trying to rip into those fucking pants, which at this point, the beast has been unleashed and Shane's fucking ready to party. So he's getting in there. He's fucking going for it, going to town. Ilya shoves his thumb in Shane's mouth, which, like, fuck yeah. At this point, you're like, I don't think this show is very much about hockey, if you didn't know already. At this point, I think you're starting to figure it out. If you haven't with the shower scene, you definitely are now. So Ilya's thumb in Shane's mouth, Shane's hand working some magic in Ilya's pants. Shane is very eager to please, okay? We love that. People pleaser to his core. We see him drop down. He gets to work. Eventually, Ilya, like, stops him, pulls him up. Shane's worried it was bad because obviously, being the people pleaser that he is, he wants to do a good job. He wants to get praised, which who doesn't, you know? Who doesn't love some praise? So at this point, Ilya's like, it was too good. And does a beautiful, like, little, like, wipe, like, caress of the lips, like, touch the lips, wipe the lips, whatever the fuck he's doing. It was making me melt. I loved it. And yeah, makes me fucking sob seeing that, because what the fuck do you even mean? Beautiful, beautiful. So then Shane is now making more eye contact. He's getting a little bit more confident in the situation that is happening. He is still a bit hunched with his shoulders, but, like, he's keeping that gaze locked, which fucking, that is my boy. Get it, Shane. So then they talk a little bit about, like, Ilya's experience, Shane's experiences. And as this is happening, Shane, like, gets a little bit straighter. He kind of leans back on the wall. I'm telling you, getting more relaxed, getting more confident. It's brilliant. And we get hit with some crazy ass fucking lines from Ilya. And then one of my favorite lines from Shane in the episode, which is, wow, those English words just roll off your tongue. The way Hudson says that, no, sorry. Sorry, no, I'm actually going to need to take 5 after that. Me just saying it and playing it in my head was almost too much for me to handle. I love the way he fucking delivers that. I love the way he says it. I don't know why, but it's stuck in my head like a little fucking worm. I swear to God. So we get Ilya asking if Shane enjoyed what he just did. We get the, wow, those English words roll right off your tongue. Ilya didn't get an answer to his question. So he says, yes. And Shane says, yes. Consent king. Consent king. Ilya, everybody bow down. Bow down to Ilya. We love. Yes. So he's getting that. Like, it's playful, it's sexy, but it is consent. Did you enjoy it? He didn't answer. He confirms that he did enjoy it. So now we have the okay to kind of go forward. And Ilya hits him with the, like, should I lie, maybe I'll, lie on the bed and let you do it some more or something. And Shane goes, like, let me. Cheeky as fuck. Ilya, no, sorry. I would not be able to handle it. I have come to the conclusion through watching this show that I deeply resonate with Shane as an individual. There is a lot about Shane that I see in myself, and a lot of the things with Shane just make sense to me. And I would react in a lot of situations the way Shane does. So when Ilya does certain stuff, it, like, actually takes me the fuck out, and I get giddy and nervous, as if, like, I'm like, oh yeah, if I was in that situation and somebody was speaking to me like that, like, I would not be able to fucking function. So I love that about that. This is one of those moments. Love it. Shane does playfully, like, push him back on the bed. Super hot. Love that. Ilya then wants Shane to undress. Love this scene. This is the first instance we see of Shane, like, getting undressed and folding his clothes, which again speaks to his character. We do know that Shane is autistic, just not diagnosed. So these are some instances where, like, you know, we're seeing that a little bit. He's very particular and likes things, like, a certain way. And I feel like this is also a callback too to, like, him making the bed earlier before he went down to the gym, even though he's just going to get right back into bed and go to sleep. So there are things like that that will happen, but the folding of the clothes is something that will reoccur. I also think that it's just a really funny parallel or difference between Shane and Ilya, because we see Ilya, like, kick his pants and shoes off as he's laying on the bed. Like, just fucking kick them the fuck off. And then you look over and Shane's, like, folding all of his clothes so, like, carefully. Love it. Love it. Love it. And Ilya does, like, smile at that. And I'm like, at this point, my boy is fucking whipped. And who wouldn't be? Because Shane is fucking adorable. So, and he is hot at the same time. So, like, we get it, Ilya. Fucking get your man. Shane stands in front of him. He says, okay. Ilya, like, tells him to get in the bed. They just kind of lay there. They're both, like, nervous, don't know, like, what to do. Ilya once again kind of tries to let him take the lead. He asks him, like, what he wants to do. And Shane's like, I don't know. Which, same. So then Ilya's like, okay, I'll make him more comfortable. He turns over. He starts working a little bit, which, again, just fucking unleashes the beast that is Shane. Shane fucking goes to town. And again, we did see Ilya also ask for consent, asking if it was okay as well before that happened. So again, consent king. There's a lot of consent throughout the show, and it does change slightly, but it is always there, which is really good. And we get to see it evolve in, like, the decade or so that they, you know, are with each other. So that's a beautiful thing to see as well, because it's obviously going to change from the first time to, like, when they're extremely comfortable with each other. Then Ilya, you know, while Shane's going to town, Ilya pulls him off, does his shit. Shane watches. Ilya says, not bad for first time, which is great. And I think that this is our first real fuck you from Shane. Love the fuck you. I swear that's, like, his go-to, and I love it. Then Ilya cleans up and, like, plays like he's gonna leave. Shane is fucking flabbergasted at this. He's like, are you fucking serious, my guy? You're leaving? Excuse me? Like, that's fucking rude. So this leads to, I know I keep saying my favorite line, but genuinely, I think when I first watched this episode, this was truly the line that I could not get out of my head. And that is when Ilya says, you think I'm an asshole. Shane's response, I know you're an asshole. Again, it's Hudson's fucking delivery. I know you're an asshole. I love the fucking sass. It sounds so sexy to me, which is, like, a whole other thing that I'm dealing with. But the way he says it to him, staring him dead, oh my God, guys. Like, I cannot handle it. I fucking cannot handle it. I love that line. And I think about that line at least 3 or 4 times a day. There are a lot of lines, and there's a line in episode 2 specifically. If you watched my reactions, you know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. But this line goes fucking hard in Ryan's brain. So we get, I know you're an asshole. the best. And then we get Ilya confirming he would never leave him like that. And, you know, they both get to be taken care of, which, like, hell yeah, that would just be fucking rude. So we know that Ilya is there for a good time for both of them. It's not just him looking for a good time. So, again, we fucking love Ilya for that. I also find it adorable that after fucking with him like that, he gives him a little kiss before he goes to town. And again, we see him grab some fucking boob. And I just, again, that means so much to me. So, love that. And I do also love how we see Shane, like, grab his hands. Like, I think he's holding, like, one hand down by his hip and one hand, like, on his wrist. That's on his boob. That's on his chest. And closing my eyes so that I'm transported there because I just fucking, like, pictured that in my head. Just close my eyes and I can play the show from memory at this point. So, love that. And of course, Ilya does some fucking crazy shit for a first hookup, which we all know what it is. Shane does apologize, but it's like, boy, you did everything humanly possible to get that man off. That man was exactly where he wanted to be. He was exactly where he wanted to be. He wanted to change your fucking life. And I think he did, because you literally never looked at another human after this day. Did you, Shane? You didn't. I'm fucking clocking your ass. So anyway, he slaps Shane, by the way, on it, like, on his stomach. The slapping. No, I'm like not okay. Like, that is so funny. That is so funny. I love him slapping him. I don't know why that fucking hits my funny bone the way it does, but I just think that's one of the funniest things he could do. And of course he does it, because why would he not? Again, Shane does apologize. I'm telling you, Ilya was fucking going for the gold medal there. Like, Ilya was trying to win some kind of award, and he did end up winning it, but, like, it was crazy. So then Shane sits up, and we get such a perfect shot of his fucking freckles, and they are the cutest things I have ever seen in my entire life. And I know they're fake. I don't give a fuck. I love them. And I feel like in this moment, Shane is kind of in his head thinking about, like, what just happened, maybe panicking a little bit. And in this moment, Ilya laughs or, like, chuckles, giggles, whatever. And I think it just breaks the tension because Shane starts to laugh. I feel like Ilya could tell that he was in his head and was trying to, like, break that a little bit, which, if I think about that too much, it will make me emotional, so I need to fucking move on. And then we get another really funny line where Ilya wants a cigarette and Shane's like, they're bad for you. Smoking's bad for you. And Ilya goes, oh, is it? Love is so funny. And we're immediately hit with Shane asking Ilya, like, not to tell anybody, or, like, you're not going to tell anybody. And again, another great line from Ilya with, yes, Hollander, I'm going to tell everyone. That is another one that is living in my head rent free. So I do think that two of my favorite lines from this episode are that one and I know you're an asshole. I think those would maybe be my two top lines from the episode. I do also really love those English words, roll right off your tongue or something, roll off your tongue. I love that one too, but I think if I had to pick two top ones, I think those would be the original two. Ilya's so fucking sassy, by the way. It sends me into oblivion. So, I also think before, like, the, yes, Hollander, I'm going to tell everyone, after the sassy, like, oh, is it, smoking's bad for you, is it? I feel like with Shane, he, like, looks down, and in that moment, we can see that he's, I think, trying to really process the situation that just happened, maybe going into damage control a little bit, and I think we see his, like, Yuna come in that moment, and just, like, oh my god. So that's when he brings up, like, you're not going to tell anybody, and all of that. And we break that down. But I think that is a really good moment where we see, like, Shane also goes into, like, fix-it mode in a way. And I think he, got that from his mom. But there's that. Shane obviously is visibly uncomfortable or nervous or whatever by Ilya saying that he's going to tell everyone. So Ilya reassures him that obviously he's fucking not going to tell anybody. And Ilya gets up, he tells him he's got to leave, he's got an early flight, he gets dressed. Shane stays on the bed. It's very tense. It's a little awkward. What the fuck did we just do? What's going on? I love the way Ilya looks at him and says goodnight. It's so fucking coy. He looks at him and holds his eye contact and is silent for a minute. And it's almost a taunting, flirty goodnight. I love it. And Shane is just staring straight at him. And he's like, night, see ya, fucking get out, because I don't know what the fuck just happened. So Shane is processing. He can't fucking believe it. We can't fucking believe it. Maybe the best thing ever. They are so adorable, obsessed with them. And we see then the whole, 40-50 goal video. Shane's watching this video and it's the, you said you were going to shoot. Also, one thing quick, because I just said that, I didn't learn a damn thing about hockey. I still know the same amount about hockey as I knew going into this, which is very interesting to me. So that's something to note. And he says he's going to score 40 goals. He's like, no, it's a lie. Liar told you that. I said 50, gives him the good old wink. And then Shane smirks after that and is like, fucking asshole. Shane fucking loves it. Come on now. How could you not love it? It's everything. Who needs anything else? And then he shows up late to lunch, which we find out is not normal because we hear his parents saying some shit no, it's fine. You're just normally on time. And it's they're not, they aren't actually, who fucking cares? But in that moment, we see that Shane is very punctual, all that good stuff. And then we find out he gets the Rolex collab, which is really big. We talk about the YouTube rabbit hole. And I feel we see a little bit more of the pressure that Shane has from Yuna's side in this moment, because they're talking about the YouTube rabbit hole. And she does mention oh, you should be watching hockey. And it's just that little thing. It's again, not aggressive or wrong for her to say. But it is just interesting because it's even in his free time, she's you should be watching hockey. You should be learning more about hockey. You should be studying hockey. So it's we see that little bit there too. And trust me, I'm a Yuna lover. I'm just saying for the future, right? There are instances where we do see some pressure being put on him. And by some pressure, I mean a fuck ton of pressure. And there is that. But also very Shane to be watching unlikely animals becoming friends. That is the most Shane shit I've ever seen. And I think I said that in my reaction, but I still feel the same way. That would be something that Shane watched and loved. So I just find that really comical myself. Yuna then brings up the 40-50 goal remark from Ilya. And again, from this moment on, we are locked into Shane and we are doing a slow zoom onto Shane's face. And we are not looking at we are not looking at Yuna and David. We are looking at Shane while she's talking about the 40-50 goal thing. As soon as she says Ilya, by the way, he's fucking locked in. He's thinking. He's not really making eye contact. He's trying to keep himself in the conversation, not making it obvious that he's thinking about Ilya and perhaps what they've done. And Yuna says some really funny things. We know what Yuna says. It makes Shane smile a little bit. We know why. We're in on the secret with him, which I really love because again, we purposely hold this shot with Shane to be with him in that moment. And it's we have that secret with him. And I think that's a really beautiful moment for us to sit there with him and get that giggle as well. Love it. It's we're sharing a secret with him in a way. And I just really like that feeling. I think that was captured there incredibly well. Jacob, listen up. You are everything, sir. Thank you for your service in this, in everything, but especially in this. I really appreciate it. And I love you. I love you very much. Then we cut to the face-off between Shane and Ilya. I love, by the way, when the announcer says, like, Ilya Rozanov versus, and then it switches to Ilya saying Shane Hollander. I think that shit gives me chills. That gives me chills. Straight chills every single time, as if it was the first time. It is way too good. It has no business being that good. And then the eye contact, will you disappoint them? I love the way Shane, like, kind of, you know, is looking, isn't looking, says no. Love it. I'm obsessed with his little smirk. I'm obsessed with his little face. I'm obsessed with everything about him. Then Shane is being interviewed because we found out that he won and he scored a goal off of the face-off with Rozanov. And they're trying to, like, push him to say some shit about, like, how great it feels to not only get a goal against Rozanov, but, like, especially off of the face-off with Rozanov. And again, he just keeps saying, like, any goal is great. I'm here for the team. I want the team to do great. I want to win for the team. It doesn't matter who it's against. Like, fighting for his fucking life out here, okay? And they bring up the, like, oh, are you facing the same challenges as, like, Tiger Woods and Serena Williams? Which, again, it's like we're steering the conversation to race instead of just him being a phenomenal fucking player. And he shuts it down. We cut to Ilya in bed. And he's talking in Russian. He's saying some really funny fucking shit about, like, how does it feel to be perfect? And, like, kind of, like, being, like, mocking in a way. And I just love that scene. We see he's on the phone with Alexei, and immediately he's up and pacing. Again. Anxious, stressed, freaking the fuck out about Alexei. Alexei needs more money for more fucking drugs. It's just a stressful environment. And this is the first sign that we kind of really learn that something's going on with Ilya's dad, because he asks Alexei how he is. Alexei's like, what the fuck is your problem with dad? And Ilya's like, he asked me to pick up milk on the way home, or like something. And there's like silence for a little bit where, like, you know, Alexei's understanding like what is being said here, but Alexei's just a motherfucker. So he says, like, he's just stupid. He's stupid. And Ilya's like, yeah, fucking fuck you. So the look on Ilya's face after Alexei does say, well, he's stupid, it speaks fucking so many words. It's like a picture says 1,000 words or whatever the fuck. What is that saying? What is that? Something said, I don't know. A picture's worth 1,000 words. I don't know. Is that the saying? A look is worth 1,000 fucking words when it comes to Connor Story and Hudson Williams. I'll tell you that much. And this was speaking 1,000,000 fucking words. It's like a bunch. Like, fuck you. You're an asshole. Just pure disbelief at like what the fuck Alexei's saying to him. And he's just over it. He's over it. He's worried about his dad. He's worried about everything that's going on. It's just fucking horrible. And then we cut to the press conference with the toe tapping situation. You know the one I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. We get to the question after, you know, the funny back and forth, like, yes, I still think that I'm going to score like 50 goals or something. But we see like the super long-winded question. And we see Ilya not being able to like fully translate, understand the question. We know Shane picks up on that. But a clear indicator of this, because Connor does such a fucking fantastic job at doing this eye bounce thing, like looking back and forth, his eyes are kind of darting left and right. And he does this when Ilya is like processing information, which I think is very interesting. This is the first instance of it though. And this is the dead giveaway that he does not understand the question and how to answer the question. And Shane hops in. We get the toe tapping. I also think that this is a great point to, a great spot. What the fuck am I trying to say? I think that this is a great spot to bring up the fact that at this point, Ilya, like, his English gets so much better throughout the show, right? Because he's in America longer, he's playing more. So like at this point, his English is like not the best. And he has a lot of pride. So he's not going to sit there and admit, like, if he doesn't understand a word or if he doesn't understand a thing. So I think that that is really important to understand here when looking at this scene in general. The fact that Shane picked up on the fact that he was not understanding and, like, saved him in that moment, I think just it made Ilya melt even more. It made us all melt. Who am I kidding? Then comes the shot accuracy competition, which we get the Scott to Ilya to Shane train, and Shane ends up with the new best score, the new, you know, record or whatever the fuck. And we shoot to Ilya, like, moving down to be able to talk to Shane, which is super fun, and saying good job. And we also get the first, like, boring Canadians mention from Ilya, because he brings up boring a lot, especially when it comes to Shane and Canadians. But this is the first instance where he says, like, yeah, no boring Canadians, no stupid Americans. And this is also the first time where we really see Shane, like, being funny back. We don't see a lot of it with Shane. I think that there is a lot of, he's constantly filled with pressure that I think it is difficult for him to sometimes, like, let his guard down and just fully relax. So we do see him, like, with the mention of, like, the Finnish players and, like, the cousins they're in love with. And again, we see the most beautiful, genuine fucking smile from Ilya. And it's like, he's obsessed with you. He loves you. We all love you. But that is, like, it's so cute. We see such a beautiful fucking smile. And I can't handle it. Simply can't. I love it. I love seeing the pure joy on his face, and, like, knowing that he's so smitten with Shane is everything. And then we see Ilya mention that he's going to go to bed early tonight. Shane's like, fuck, we're talking about this out loud. Like, what the fuck is your problem? He skates by. He hits him with the 1-2-2-1. And in comes Scott Hunter. Okay? What the fuck do you even mean, Scott Hunter? Scott definitely fucking clocked that shit and is, like, questioning him about him, and then drops the bomb that, like, he's in the room next door. Love that. Don't even a little bit. Once he does mention, by the way, that he's in the room next door, Shane literally looks like he's gonna fucking pass away. He looks like he's like, are you fucking kidding me? So then we jump to Shane knocking at the door and, like, pushing it open. And Ilya comes in with the banger line of, is someone chasing you? And Shane, looking angrier than you have ever seen him look, says, I was standing in the hallway like an idiot. Scott Hunter is right next door. I love this exchange. Again, I kind of want to add this to, like, my top lines in the episode. I love this line, but there's so many great ones coming in this scene that it's just incredible. Ilya laughs after Shane's, like, losing his fucking shit about this. And Shane's like, fuck, or something like, this man is just so fucking hot. Pushes him against the wall. Goes to town. And in this moment, we know that Shane has learned a thing or two. Because what does he do, folks? Say it with me. Say it with me. He grabs some boob. He does. He grabs some boob. So he's learned from Ilya from the first time. And honestly, love that. You know what else I love? I'm a big fan of Ilya picking him up and carrying him to the bed. I think that that is adorable. That's one of the cutest things. I love seeing, I love him picking Shane up. I love it. There's not much I love more. I think, oh my God, it does things to me. I love it. I melt. I melt. He says, on your stomach, to Shane. Shane immediately, again, looks like he's, like, would rather fucking die. He looks, like, petrified in this moment and nervous and is processing. And I love the communication from Ilya here. Ilya, like, clocks it immediately and asks if he wants to, if he ever has, because, again, he's a fucking consent king. And Shane kind of, like, doesn't really say anything. And then Ilya says, you're scared. Shane's like, I'm not scared. Ilya's like, no, it's okay. And immediately, once again, love that. Validating his feelings if he is scared. Shane being like, I'm not. And I just love that Ilya, like, really proves here that he is a safe person. in general, right? Like, he is safe to, in that moment, to say, like, I am scared. And you know that you're going to be fine and everything's going to be fine because Ilya is perfect. So then we have the whole, he's got a thing. We get hit with the what color, how big, the fuck you. And when he says how big and Shane goes, I'm leaving. That is me. That is me. Like, being so over it, just, I'm out of here, actually. I'm gonna go. I'm leaving. And we confirm we will not be doing that with Scott Hunter in the room next door. We get a crazy line from Ilya, by the way, like, we'll let him listen like mating call. Fucking takes me out every single time. But yeah, basically Shane's like, I don't want Scott Hunter to actually be a third party in our first time Rosanov. So simply, we're not going to be doing that. We see that Ilya mentions next time being maybe the time that they will be doing it. And Shane immediately goes into an overthinking mess. He's like, where the fuck will we meet? Ilya hits him with the, you are homeless line, which again, one of my favorites. This episode is just loaded with the fucking best lines, I swear to God. So we get that. Shane's like, no, I have an apartment. And it's like freaking the fuck out, panicking because Ilya's like, then we'll meet there. And Shane's like, ah. And Ilya's like, calm down. Like, it's not a big deal. We're just meeting to fuck. It's going to be fine. And we get hit with, again, another banger of a line. Hollander, you are having panic attack. And I just feel like it eases the tension. Like, it makes Shane laugh. It, like, breaks it a little bit. Shane's like, you're fucking right. I'm, like, freaking the fuck out. And right after he says that, by the way, he makes, like, the cutest little face to Shane, which, like, makes Shane smile. And I don't see people talking about this enough. It is the cutest little face. It's so cute. It's so cute. So anyway, so then we cut to Shane getting dressed, and he ends up being like, hey, I know, we were just talking about meeting in 2 weeks, but, like, what if we just, and Illy's like, you're so boring, again with the boring comment. He's like, give me your phone. We get Lily and Jane. Okay, so they're going to text, they're going to communicate. It's beautiful. They smile at each other. They have, like, this little thing now, this little secret, which we love. And then we cut to the airport, Ilya being at the airport because they're supposed to go to Montreal and play them. And this is 2 weeks later. So this is going to be the meeting, the time. And they're snowed in. And in this scene, again, we see Ilya's leg, like, bouncing, shaking the entire time. Again, with the anxious tick, okay? We saw it earlier with his feet shaking. Now his legs shaking because he wants to get there. It's very important to him. They don't get there. They're snowed in. They can't go. Shane goes to dinner with Hayden and his wife, and Ilya goes home, even though he's fucking disappointed as hell because he wants to see Shane. Who doesn't? Everybody wants to see Shane. So he goes home, and we run into Svetlana there, and this is very interesting based off of something that happens in episode 5, which I'll probably bring this back up then, but we do see him kind of shocked that she's there. He seems maybe a little bit disappointed because, like, he's only thinking about Shane in this moment. And she says, you don't deserve me. Joking, giggling with him. But that is very interesting based off of what is said in episode 5. That kind of mirrors that with Svetlana and Ilya. So I loved seeing that upon, like, a rewatch once the entire show was out and just clocking that. Very interesting. And then we start seeing, like, text bubbles pop up from Shane, or a text bubble. I think it's like him being like, oh, like, next time or something like that. And there's literally a half-dressed woman in front of him. And he would much rather be, like, reading the text from Shane and speaking to Shane. So at this point, we know that he's fucking whipped, okay? And then we cut to Shane winning Rookie of the Year. Ilya is nowhere to be fucking found here. And Scott comes over, and this is our first mention of ginger ale, baby. You guessed it. He's drinking ginger ale. He's not drinking. Scott's like, hey, why don't we take shots with you rookies? And he's like, yeah, that'd be great. Scott hits him with the, where's your boy Rosanov? Instant fucking panic, and makes it so obvious with the, my what? What? Avoiding eye contact. He's not looking at Scott. Then he does look at Scott. And he says they aren't really friends. Scott's like, whoa. He backs off like immediately. And he's like, no, I just, sorry. Like, you're always you're always against each other. Like, I just, whatever. Shane is looking everywhere at this point after they do the shots for Ilya. Like, we see this man's fucking he's scanning the room like a fucking, like those lifeguards in like the lazy rivers at amusement parks. Like, he's doing the like, like this weird shit, like that shit. I don't know what the training is for that, but that's what Shane's doing. Shane is looking everywhere for this man, nowhere to be found. He goes out to like the rooftop or wherever the fuck that is, a little tipsy. Ilya's smoking, and he kind of mentions like Ilya not being able to handle Shane winning. And he's like, all you do is beat me, which I do find really interesting because like in the last like 3 things hockey related, Shane has won. So I do find it interesting. Like, Ilya won the first game against each other. Then Shane won. I mean, okay, so Ilya won the first game. Ilya was the first draft pick. Then Shane won. And I feel like Shane won when they did like the face off. He won off of him. He wins Rookie of the Year. Like, Shane is winning. So it's not like, I don't know. It's like pretty fair. Like, at this point though, Shane is winning. So like, I don't really, understand. Whatever. Shane is upset. And I do just overall find this interesting because Ilya at this point is obviously like going through something. And so Ilya mentions he's kind of like, I don't know, like an olive branch perhaps. I don't know, breaking the ice, breaking the tension, opening up, being a little bit vulnerable with Shane when he says like, I go home in 3 days. Shane being the sweet little naive boy that he is, hits him with the like, okay, must be nice. And Ilya, oh my God, the face that Ilya like shoots at him again, says a million words without saying anything at all. With like, it's very clearly not nice. It's not a good thing. He doesn't want to be going there. It's a problem. It's stressful. It's scary. It's not a great place for Ilya. So that's interesting. Shane's like not really picking it up. It just, honestly, shoot me. It's not nice, Shane. It's not. Like, my sweet baby love. It is not nice. So, Shane's about to say some fucking vulnerable ass shit there. He hits him with, like, the, I thought we... And this man is gonna spill his guts. And then he decides against it, and he's like, never mind. And goes to leave, and stops. Because I'm telling you, this man is like, I cannot go on and not have touched you tonight. Like, I need to touch you, basically. Like, we need to have some kind of physical touch. So he holds his hand out to shake his hand and is like, see you next season or something. Ilya comes down, does a beautiful fucking kiss, like, pushes him up against the wall, is kissing him. It's gorgeous. Shane also, by the way, which says a lot, holds eye contact with this motherfucker the entire time he is, like, coming down, walking up to him until they are kissing. Like, Shane is not breaking eye contact. Shane is putting in the work. He's like, come get this. Come and get this, boy. So they do that. They break. Shane panics. Like, there was kissing. The kissing was great. Once they did that break, Shane was like, fuck. This ain't good. This ain't good. He panics. He's like, people could be watching. You don't know that anybody's not watching. We're in 2 tuxes. Like, what the fuck is your problem? Freaking the fuck out. He tries to take a little bit of control by like spinning them around and like pushing Ilya against the wall. And then walks away. And we see Ilya like call after him, kind of like longing for him. And Shane goes inside. He doesn't turn around. He does not come back. And we watch Ilya stare, like, longingly after Shane. And we hold the shot, okay? We don't break the shot as he turns and walks, and we follow him back up to like the edge of the balcony. And we get to stay with Ilya in that moment, which I think is very important as well. It's like a heavy moment. He didn't want Shane to leave. He wants to be with Shane, all of that. And we get to sit in that feeling with him of Shane leaving and like the impending doom that is the visit to Russia that he's about to go do. And then the episode ends. And I'm like, at this point, a fucking puddle on the ground. Because what do you even mean? What do you even mean? This episode, and it's crazy to say that, like, this may even be my least favorite episode out of the 6 episodes. Which is fucking insane to say. It would be this one or 3. And it's like, I love every single one of these episodes. Okay? Episode 2 has 4, 5, and 6 are next fucking level. And episode 2 has so much like deep personal, like deep meaning for me personally that like episode 2 cannot be down here. So it has to go to 1 and 3 as like my bottom 2 episodes. And they both are just fucking smash hits and they need to all exist for every single reason. This show would not be the masterpiece it is without all 6 of these episodes. So it's just insane to like have this much to break down and talk about in this episode and be like, oh yeah, this may be my least favorite out of the 6. And I still can't fucking shut up about it. I think that this is such a cinematic masterpiece. When it comes to favorite lines, right? Looking back over these, I'm telling you, like, Hollander, you are having panic attack. Incredible fucking line. I know you're an asshole. That is like everything to me. And then, yes, Hollander, I'm going to tell everyone. That's the other one. Love all of those lines. Love every single line that I pointed out in here because I had to. And when I was writing my notes, going through this episode, writing my notes, the amount of iconic lines that came out of this episode, like even the, like, it's a lie, liar told you that, like everybody fucking is saying that. This episode alone is like just a fucking banger. It gets you right into it. And at surface level, it's an incredible episode. But when you break down the deep meaning for like all of these, and again, I think just that opening scene with like Ilya's cigarette not lighting until he touches Shane and then we get the spark, like fucking brilliant. Brilliant. What do you even mean, Jacob? What do you even mean? And again, like, as the episodes go on, we get like deeper, feelings shown in their facial expressions and just more complex things. Obviously, this is the beginning of their relationship and doesn't span that much of a timeline in the sense of like based on how fast the other episodes go. So to have this episode just hit so hard is fucking brilliant. But yeah, the use of Feist in this episode is also fucking incredible. So I would say that is probably my favorite song in this episode. And again, like I said, it just adds to the anxiety of that moment. Even though it's such a beautiful song, I just feel like the beat of it gives that tension. When it comes to like a favorite shot of the episode, I do love the shot in the gym when they're sitting in front of the mirror facing each other. I think that is a beautiful shot. And I also really enjoy their first like actual hookup when Ilya has Shane against the wall and like Shane's kind of looking down and they are in very close proximity. I think that's beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it. So those would probably be like my 2 favorite shots to look at. I think they're stunning. I just genuinely, no, sorry. It's not okay. The fact that I'm so excited that we get a season 2, by the way. I would like more episodes, but also if they're going to hit this hard, do what you need to do. If you need to make 6, make 6, because I will eat them all up. This show has genuinely saved the entire last year for me, which is a crazy thing to say. But it was an incredibly rough year for me, and I think for a lot of people in general. But, like, I was really struggling for, like, the first time ever with depression and just, like, this state of the world. But also I was, like, allowing myself to be sad, like, for that, because obviously. So it was just dealing with a lot of big emotions and hard, like, rough patches and stuff. And then with this show coming out, it just has felt like such a breath of fresh air. And seeing the entire, like, it feels like the entire world is just coming together to celebrate these characters in such a beautiful way. And I honestly can't believe it. Like, it is beautiful. It is everything. And I think everybody's just coming together with so much love. And it's like a sense of community in a way. And I am, at my core, if there's one thing about me, I am a fucking, like, diehard fan of shit. Like, I love shit. I love analyzing stuff. And if I go very hard for my niche special interests. I'll say that. So, like, I can very easily love and enjoy a lot of things, but the way that this show has made me feel, like, it has made me feel inspired to, like, do things and make things. I talked about in my reactions that, like, I don't act. I've always thought that it would be really fun, and I always, like, very delusionally am like, oh, I think I would be really good. But I think that this show has just been so inspiring, and I'm, like, watching it, I'm like, I want to act. Like, this show makes me want to, like, make something that makes people feel the way that this show makes people feel, and that just doesn't happen every day, and it's such a beautiful thing. And the fact that we all get to, like, share in this is so incredible. And again, a lot of what I talked about in this episode are things that I wanted to point out because they are common themes throughout the episodes, or there are certain callbacks to certain things, which, you know, I'll bring up in those videos. But the fact that this is, like, 2 hours long, I was like, I simply cannot be doing all 6 episodes in one video. So I'm going to just have to do them one by one and really fully, like, sit with each episode. But I think that you could not have done a better opening episode. Where this one cuts off with that balcony scene and them splitting up for the summer, I think is beautiful and just leaves you, like, wanting more and to see, like, where they pick up from. And I think both characters are so different that, like, everybody can kind of, I don't know, see, like, a little bit of themselves in somebody, I think. And I think that that's a really beautiful thing. Like I said, I'm very much like Shane. I don't think that I'm autistic, but there is a lot of things that really heavily resonate with me from Shane. So, like, that's interesting. I think a lot of that has to do, too, with the fact that, like, I am very much a people pleaser. I do feel immense pressure with, like, a lot of things, and not necessarily from anybody. I think I do that to myself a lot of the time, but it is just a very interesting thing to fully think about. And yeah, this has been, like, the best is getting to, like, watch and experience this show at the time that it's happening with all of the people who love it and have, you know, poured so much love into it and just care. And it's so beautiful. Thank you, Jacob, especially, for creating the show, Rachel for writing the books, Hudson and Connor for bringing Shane and Ilya to life so beautifully and perfectly. And it just is it's, like, such a beautiful, like, victory kind of story. Like, I keep seeing all the things where it's like they had, like, $20 on a dream, and it's like, that is gonna make me fucking emotional. Like, I'm tearing up thinking about that. Like, the love and care that this show has in it just shines through. And I think that that is truly why it has done so well, is like, you can feel that when you watch it. So very much love and appreciate this show, this experience, this journey. And I cannot wait to come back and break down episode 2, because episode 1 is probably the tamest it's going to get for me personally. So be ready, because shit's going to get freaky in episode 2, because some of my favorite scenes of the entire show are in episode 2. If you know, you know. So look out for that. Thank you for joining me and my beautiful dog here, Neville. And I will see you guys back here with me. Maybe, if you would like to join me for the second episode, that would be lovely, because it's just going to get more outrageous, more freaky, more weird, I'm sure. I think that that's all I have to say for episode 1. Thank you for joining me and my dog here. It's been a fucking ride, and I've loved it. I'm sorry it was so long, but once again, I told you I can never get to the fucking point. And I went through basically the whole episode. There were points that I cut out, like things that, like, you know, I wanted to point out the really important stuff that would be parallels and stuff like that to like other episodes. But I also really wanted to break down some of my favorite scenes and some of my favorite phrases. And also, like, even the, like, some phrases that are said, it's not even about the words. It's like the delivery of them is so good and hits me so hard that I just cannot get them out of my fucking head. So that's why they were in here. But yeah, let me know anything that you noticed in episode 1 that maybe will play a part in a future episode that I didn't add in here. If there are any that you can think of, I would love to know. Thank you guys so much for sitting with me for this like FaceTime chat, perhaps this little breakdown, chatty review, because, you know, 10 out of 10 for this, by the way. If I'm giving a rating, it's perfect. Spoiler alert, not a single one will be under a 10 out of 10, but they will go up from here, I'm sure. So stay tuned for the fucking rating. But yeah, this like review, analysis, whatever you want to fucking call it, breakdown, scene by scene. It was so much fun. And I'll see you guys back here with me and maybe my dog for episode 2. Bye, guys.